be okay with your friend doing business with your enemy?
You asking me?
Yeah.
I can't go to the Max B party because you're my friend. Yeah.
Why?
Because you my friend, nigga.
What?
Yeah.
You really think you know someone, Jim, until something like this suddenly pops up. Maino was recently spotted on Instagram liking the new track from Max B in French Montana. Ever since she left me, and that alone has people talking almost instantly. The spotlight shifted toward Mayo and Jim Jones, better known as the Lobby Boys. What makes this situation even more interesting is the timing. This is all happening right before the anticipated return of Let's Rap About It, and to many people, it doesn't feel like a coincidence. The reaction isn't just about Max B either. What really caught everyone's attention is that Maino also showed love to French Montana, and anyone who follows the history between these names understands why they'd raised eyebrows. Now the big question is whether Jim will address Mayo about it or simply brush it off and keep things moving. Either way, the moment feels uncomfortable, and people online are already reading between the lines. For many observers, it feels like the dynamic might be shifting, almost like a new twist in the ongoing Lobby Boys story. There were already rumors circulating that Maino might be slowly distancing himself from the podcast, and this moment is only adding fuel to that conversation. What really made people look twice, though, was hearing that Maino was reportedly vibing to the new Max B and French Montana record while looking in the mirror. Some fans are even calling it a loyalty test, especially considering the conversation Jim and Maino had not long ago about staying solid with each other. Nobody is officially accusing anyone of anything, but the speculation alone is what has the internet buzzing. The way some people see it, friendships in this circle have always been built on the idea that if someone is your friend, then their enemies are automatically yours too. That's why some fans are now asking how things even reached this point. Not long ago, people laughed at the idea that Maino might have had something to do with that strange footage from Jim Jones's studio where the lights were off and everything looked suspicious. But now that this new situation has surfaced, some are starting to revisit that theory and wonder if it was really that far-fetched after all.
Something to you. I'm a loyal nigga at the end of the day. Before music, let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you, David. Mr. David.
Dawood. I'm Dawood on this podcast.
I like that.
It's crazy.
My Muslim brother. Check this out. At the end of the day, I'm a person that your enemies is my enemies, because that's the love that I got for you. If we like that, then I'm gonna take on whatever it is that you got going on, and it's then I gotta feel the same way.
Now, some people are even floating theories that Maino might be working with the landlord to put pressure on Jim. At first, that idea sounds wild, but the reason it's getting attention now is because no one was even considering it before. As the problem, sometimes the obvious signs get overlooked until something new brings them back into focus. We just watched Mayo openly show love to Max B and French Montana's music, and it was clear as day. For many people, that's not a good look, especially considering everything surrounding the situation. It's hard to imagine Jim Jones not feeling some type of way about that. What makes it even more interesting is that Mayo recently came out saying his loyalty is 1000% with Jimo, and he didn't just say it once. He repeated it twice, almost like he wanted to make sure the message landed. At the same time, a lot of people online seem to be turning on Jim and painting him as the problem in all of this. But from another perspective, the situation looks very different when you actually pay attention to what's happening. The details are there, and the timeline tells its own story. And trust me, there's more to unpack here. If you're following this closely, make sure you hit the like button because this story keeps getting deeper. But back to the situation itself, because things are starting to look messy. It's beginning to feel like not everyone around Jim Jones shares the same level of loyalty that he believes they do. Meanwhile, Max B is clearly gaining momentum again, and French Montana seems to be right there helping push that wave forward.
Shit with him. So my whole thing is this: I really understand that I don't come from the same world a lot of people come from. If I got a relationship with you that extends past professionalism and it's personal, I'm at your home and I know your parents, right? I just don't feel right if you at odds with somebody else, right? Knowing that we got a personal relationship, going out my way to go congregate or party with them, right? Now, that's a choice. Seeing them somewhere else is not, right? Because two things can be true at the same time. I can respect my relationship that I got with you, but at the same time, it don't mean no disrespect to somebody else. It means that I'm just clear on where
I understand that I have a real relationship with him, and that's where my perspective comes from. I also recognize that I don't come from the same background as everyone else. For me, if I have a relationship with someone that goes beyond business and becomes personal, if I've been to your house, if I know your family, then I move a certain way out of respect for that bond. So if you're in conflict with someone, It just doesn't feel right for me to go out of my way to link up with them or party with them like nothing is going on. That's a choice. At the same time, two things can be true. I can respect the relationship I have with you while still not disrespecting someone else. It simply means I'm clear about where I stand. Right now, French Montana is pushing the record hard and leading the rollout, and people are slowly starting to jump on that wave. Even if someone isn't personally riding with it, it's impossible to ignore the momentum building around it. Max B is picking up steam again, and the buzz is growing. While I was scrolling through Instagram, something caught my attention that made me pause. There was new footage of French and Max celebrating their latest single off Coke Wave 3.5, enjoying the moment and the energy around the release. Then I noticed something that stood out immediately. Someone had liked the post, and when you look closely, the name on that like was Maino. No confusion, no accident. Just a clear sign of support. When you hit the like button on a post, people read that as showing love. In this case, that love is being shown to people many see as Jim's opposition, and that's why the situation is getting attention. Some might say it's nothing, but when you really think about it, is it that simple? If one of your own friends showed support to someone you don't rock with, you'd probably look at them a little differently. Trust matters, and once trust starts slipping, everything else around it can begin to shift. The timing is what makes everything feel even more complicated. The whole Lobby Boys situation has already been looking shaky, and the tension around the Let's Rap About It podcast hasn't helped either. Ever since the comments about 50 Cent, the energy hasn't really felt the same. Now on top of that, you have French and Max releasing a record talking about ever since he left, flexing about more cars, more clothes, and more shine. That's their message, but people can't help connecting the dots. Around the same time Mayo stepped into the 50 situation, things started looking rough. Suddenly there were stories about no lights, no heat, and nothing moving smoothly. Whether those connections are fair or not, the timing has people talking. That's why people keep joking about a remix of the situation. But underneath the jokes, there's a real conversation happening. Loyalty has always been a big topic in this circle. Jim has made it clear in the past that if someone is loyal to him, they can't be moving too friendly with the opposition. The line was already drawn. Remember when Dave had to explain himself just for attending a Max B party? He had to break down his reasoning publicly. Now the spotlight has shifted to Mayo if that loyalty was really 1000%. As he said, people are asking why the support for French and Max is showing up now. From the outside looking in, some people feel like Mayo is moving more confidently in this situation than Jim is. The theory floating around is that he knows nothing serious is going to come from it, so he moves however he wants. That's the perception people are building, and perception can be powerful. Brooklyn has always had a reputation for quiet moves and strategic thinking, playing chess instead of checkers. Because of that, some people see these actions as calculated while others are calling them snake moves. Either way, it's being interpreted as a test to see how far things can go without any real pushback at the same time. People keep asking the same question: what is Jim actually going to do about it? Past situations didn't lead to major confrontations. So many believe it's unlikely that a hard line suddenly gets drawn now. That's why some feel like Mayo is simply flexing his position and seeing how much space he really has. And this is where the bigger problem shows up. The Let's Rap About It podcast has already been looking unstable, and the Lobby Boys brand doesn't feel as solid as it once did. From stories about no lights and no heat to now liking a Max B record, the optics just aren't great. Once the audience senses tension, every small move gets magnified. A simple like starts looking like a statement. Silence starts feeling like an answer. Fans begin choosing sides even when no one involved has said anything publicly. That's how narratives grow. And right now the optics are loud, even if the people involved aren't speaking on it directly. The timing only adds to the pressure. The podcast already felt uncertain, and the brand already looked fragile. Then this moment pops up right in the middle of everything. Instead of unity, it creates the impression of confusion, and confusion is never a good look in this industry. Fans don't usually wait for explanations. They move straight to conclusions. They replay old clips, bring up old conversations about loyalty, and start questioning whether those words meant what people thought they meant at this stage. It's not even just about music anymore. It's about trust, positioning, and whether this situation gets addressed or simply ignored. Ignoring it doesn't make the conversation disappear. If anything, it gives the story more room to grow. And once that happens, the narrative starts moving on its own. Another layer people are bringing up is the history between Jim and Max. Some fans remember that Max once released a record that crossed a serious line involving Jim's family. That's not the kind of thing people forget easily. In Jim's world, that history still carries weight, no matter how much time has passed. That's why seeing support directed toward that side of the situation feels strange to many observers. But, at the same time, it almost looks like Mayo isn't too concerned about the fallout. From the outside perspective, it feels like he already knows nothing major is going to happen. So he continues moving the way he wants, saying what he wants, and carrying on. Personally, I'm not mad at Maino, I'm just looking at the situation. As it is, the history with Max is well known, and that's why this moment feels off to a lot of people watching from the sidelines right now. The optics aren't great, the timing makes it worse, and the whole situation just feels messy. So the big question is, what happens next? Does Jim even know about this? And if he does, is he going to address it or let it pass? I want to hear what you think. Is Maino out of line here, or is he simply standing on his own position? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and before you leave, make sure you subscribe to Dripsy. Like the video, share it, comment, and hit that hype button to help the channel keep growing. Thanks for rocking with us.
Would you be okay with your friend doing business with your enemy?
You asking me?
Yeah.
I can't go to the Max B party because you're my friend. Yeah.
Why?
Because you my friend, nigga.
What?
Yeah. Let me explain something to you. I'm a loyal nigga at the end of the day. Before music. Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you, David. Mr. David.
Dawood. I'm Dawood on this podcast.
Dawood,
I like that.
is crazy.
My Muslim brother. Check this out. At the end of the day, I'm a person that your enemies is my enemies. Because that's the love that I got for you. If we like that, then I'm gonna take on whatever it is that you got going on, and it's then I gotta feel the same way. Understand that I got a relationship with him. So my whole thing is this: I really understand that I don't come from the same world a lot of people come from. If I got a relationship with you that extends past professionalism and it's personal, I'm at your home and I know your parents, right? I just don't feel right if you at odds with somebody else, right? Knowing that we got a personal relationship, going out my way to go congregate or party with them, right? Now, that's a choice. Seeing them somewhere else is not, right? Because two things can be true at the same time. I can respect my relationship that I got with you, but at the same time, it don't mean no disrespect to somebody else. It means that I'm just clear on where I stand.